The chick from YouTube, I guess she's very jealous. Don't you jealous me? Don't you jealous me? Like the song? Yeah. This chick extremely to a point where Monawa Haye has made her essentially just kind of like whatever she is right now. She wouldn't have even become a hybrid if she wasn't so jealous. When I want more power to deal with me. And so okay, we can invite you to the city under the sea. And she just went. This random cherry. It's very eccentric, hectic, strong, be very cute, be stunning. Yeah, with aggression. One by one, Mara on her own fingers. One by one. Second one, with just gumption, with gusto, with determination and ambition, volition, and exercise, training. And then basically I'm approaching what would be the tantamount of my recording device and switching it off. Honey, you've been at it for a minute, haven't you? You've tried to make me stop. You've tried to silence me. You're busy doing courtesy witchcraft because frankly you are hired to just ban me on YouTube, but you are just paying money out of your own pocket. How about you? You spend a spell 7,000 rands, girl. So what then for with the dream where it is that you are taking off my rings? That dream was God showing me that basically just close myself out and stop recording. Get anything else. OC, I get your death ritual failed and it's too expensive for you to do another one, so you want me to stop ministry, so I must just sit around and rot and writhe and eventually maybe commit suicide? Is that what you're trying to... Listen, you're a bully, but it's okay. Because one day I'm coming for you, Gadi Jeresi, with a culpable homicide lawsuit against you. After giving justice to all of your victims, but you're going to be in the grave by then, so I guess it's going to be post-mortem or whatever. Like giving a dead celebrity a plaque for selling out platinum albums, to a point of making platinum sales. Even though you're dead now, but you're still winning a Grammy, yeah, I'm going to give you a plaque called prison term. Now that you're dead. A post-mortem prison term. You're already going to be in Hades, but really if you were alive, you are going to go down in history as one who killed 50, 60, 70 people by simply freaking sabotaging the living daylights out of them. All the victims that you did this to on YouTube, all the people whose lives are no longer around, all the people who gave up, who quit, all the people that you sabotaged, listen, one day maybe your Gen Alpha kids will rightly award the proper plaque of nonsense of history put down in canals of history as Lenja Le Eshonile that's now burning in hell contributed to the devastation of the South African economy and 5 suicides. If she didn't die before this law was finally enacted in the country, she'd be in jail, but I guess she's in a jail of sorts right now. But right here on earth you will always remember that little harlot at YouTube as one of the contributors to the destruction of South Africa. You're that thing. You have already attended funerals of people that you sabotaged and so killed. And if at all I were to die because of what you're doing to me, I would have been among your body count. You've also killed a baby, like in first blood. Somebody's child in Namjonja and then stabbed that baby in the occult. That's who you are, right? So of course our blood is easy to shed. Once you've done that kind of ritual, your conscience gets that seared. You did a ritual, you are out here doing courtesy witchcraft, nobody's paying you, nobody's asking you to do it, but you're doing it on their behalf. Initially you just used to harass me by pressing buttons at YouTube. Now you're actually paying money to Isangoma to deal with me. Listen, you're kind of far gone now, but it's alright, lady chica, little pimple with pus in it oozing, making like cystic. Yeah, my rings are staying, okay? They're not going anywhere. And as for you, you're going to Hades, but after you die, you're gonna go down like Hitler or whatever. You're always gonna be like an Idi Amin. We're gonna remember you, the world that is, for being the saboteur against global citizens and the contributor to the absolute devastation of an entire country. Listen, look at you go. You destroy South Africa. Wow, what a rep, okay? Got to cause me to quit ministry. And then do what? Okay, whatever, you've done a thing. Congratulations, now that you felt all nice and brave for a minute. What's next, baby? What are you gonna do next? Hey? Like Pina Elea Rihanna. What now? Please tell me. What are you gonna do next? My point exactly. Just go keep spending the 1,000 that are soon gonna leave your pocket on a fruitless witchcraft. But if this dastardly beastly female at YouTube did this particular thing in strange cemeteries and putting my effigies in them, if at all she succeeded with her sorcery, like I said, my God has the whole world. In his hands, he's got the whole wide world. In his hands, he's got the whole entire planet. In his hands, he's got the whole world in his hands. He owns the cemetery where you're burying my effigies. He also owns the sangoma that you paid to make me take off my rings and stop recording and switch off my devices. He owns everything. And the same God, listen, like I said, uyangithanda, hooray, and you're trying to kill me, so mamela. And so therefore, there is no shadow he won't light up, mountain he won't climb up, coming after me. There's nothing that he wouldn't do for me. Nothing can ever separate me from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus, Romans 8. The honeybee bumble, sugar la la la, what are you doing over there exactly? Please tell me, I'm curious. It's getting curiouser and curiouser this matter. Listen, I am of grave interest as to what you're achieving in these streets. Tell me. Answer me. My point exactly. It's a flatline chototzi. Ew. I'm not going anywhere. Mara, you're gonna try. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow, listen. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. That's a thing. There's nothing that God wouldn't do for me, including essentially just kind of cause the ignoring of all of your sorcery. Y'all don't know who you're serving, but you also don't know who I'm serving. So I guess all that ignorance is contributing to why you keep on paying loads of cash to fruitless missions. Congratulations, you've done that. Now it's my turn, okay? My turn. So Cheriena, if she were to succeed, however, because we need to speak about here ramifications so you can understand South Africa, why you're gonna die like a little fishy flapping outside of an ocean trying to breathe, but like it just dies anyway because there's like no water. This is why you're gonna die. Because you're encircled by people you refuse to bring to book that are trying to silence voices like mine. So y'all don't know what in the world is being done to South Africa. And if at all you don't know spiritually what's being done to South Africa, if you just keep on reporting the news in Jepela, if at all you just run with what you see on the surface, run with what you see on the surface, but you don't dive deep to understand what are the causes, the causes of these things, what are the roots, you will keep on just saying, it is what it is. 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 Until your house, otherwise known as your whole country, will be ushered in a whirlwind like Dorothy in Wizard of Oz, and you'll find yourself in some enchanted land that's full of nothing but witches, and then Islam will take you over because they've always wanted you. They're salivating after your country. They're salivating after all our countries. There's no shadow he won't light up, mountain he won't climb up, coming after me. And I'm trying to tell you that God Almighty will do anything for you as a land that honors Him, including block those Midianites, otherwise known as the Ishmaelites, otherwise known as the Islamists, from taking over your country. But you won't listen to me. You will only ever die to be a monument to your children. Yeah. So this chick is trying to block me from working, therefore contributing to more culpable homicide than she's already responsible for. That's alright, Shiki. If I had handcuffs, I'd arrest you, and no, it's not kinky because I know you're a lesbian. Mara, that's what's giving. Went into that thing, this chick, and she's messing up that much. That is that chick, right? So I've told you about these three. But Madessa and the dad, the two of them, Buddy took him up with Madessa, the 40-something-year-old or 30-something, like so he's closer to age with me, late 30s, early 40s, and the dad is in his 60s. Those two are gonna die close to each other. I've already given prophecy concerning that, and I don't know how in particular they die, but they die. But the chick, Wako YouTube, and other details are very stark. She dies from a car accident, where it is that she gets hit by a car at the back, like as a pedestrian, just walking these streets out here, trotting with her chicken feet. Yeah, she dies that way. While her Madessas are gonna die close, like together, out here bereaving some people. But who cares? I mean, they were nasty. Okay. Now let's move on from these three because they are the most poignant afflictors of my person. Okay, these two Pookie dads, like the Pookie dad, the Pookie son, and the chick who ought to be working for Pookie. And how about the it's gonna be like a whole big fat chunky monument and example to everybody. Mara, I did let you guys know that I'm gonna be set free not so much by the dying nature, the dying state, the essentially coding disposition of these three freaks. I am going to get set free by a repentant America. They're going to come around, and so therefore all the minions that gaze upon this activity, and remember, South Africa, you're stubborn. Listen, you are just rigid. Okay, so because you are stubborn like a donkey, you will keep on trying to see if you can't finish this thing. Some of y'all hate me with a purple hatred, a purple passion. You want me to be wrong, and you are picking a controversy, a bone, because of your envy. Very courtesy. And so because you've got very excruciatingly dangerous envy, some of y'all just out of nothing but sheer pride, the volition of jealousy, will maintain this thing even though you put Madlissas by two, right next to your little side chick YouTube whore. Even though they're all dead now, little Pusha. So essentially, until this entire syndicate is ripped like a carpet, wall to wall from the walls, until all the termites come out, unless the syndicate is ripped apart like that, I'm not gonna come free. Barely anybody. It's not gonna make a dent for them to die. They just have to die because it's their time and it's judgment. And also, it's going to reprieve me when they die of all the cancerous monsters that pursue me, because I'm gonna be able to successfully move to another YouTube channel and not have as much abuse and affliction. Mara, just in terms of my violent, voluminous growth on YouTube. Hashem, that is America's doing and them alone. It is going to be America's doing and them alone, but the US will not come through for me until the valley of Occult is heaped with the bones of the, what do they call this thing? Heaped with the bones of the moles, the betrayers of the Trump administration. They first have to get uprooted. And I don't know when they're gonna get uprooted. Frankly, I can't wait, because my life is just, I'm like in a lot of attrition, right? My prayer is that it happens, I mean, I can't say by the end of the year, because it's already like November, but I hope that before the end of the middle of next year, that this has already been done, because God's servants across the world are in too much pain for this to linger for too long. The moles have to be discovered quickly. This thing has to move fast, hastily. Otherwise, some of us are just going to die. We're just going to keep dropping like dominoes. There's just going to keep still being nasty nonsense happening. But only at that stage then am I going to get everything I've ever wanted. I'm going to get my everything. So all of y'all that are trying to turn me 48, 45, whatever without a husband, and listen, I'm going to meet a man real fast. I'm going to marry real fast. I'm going to have children easy, carry to term real easy. I'm just going to get whatever it is under heaven that I've always wanted. And it's going to cause a great deal of sorrow on the part of South Africa. I'm going to be like, Evita Peron. You're gonna be out looking at me or something, don't cry for me, Argentina. But it's like, don't cry for me, South Africa. The truth is I never left you. I left you prophecy, so your Gen Alphas can realize it. I kept my promise, don't keep your distance. You be out looking at me like I'm Evita Peron. You don't look at me like that. Mara, before then, you would have tried to kill me. You would have literally tried to kill me. And your kids will take up the baton. I'm not gonna, I mean, listen, by the time your kids take up the baton, I'm either gonna be dead or really old. Like really old. I'm not gonna get really old to watch your children realize a recovered South Africa without children, without a husband, without grandchildren to bring back the site to see what their nation looks like, the nation that their grandmother or their great grandmother came from. I'm probably for the life of me not going to see finally the fulfillment of your kids fixing the country, and so safely send them to South Africa to go see what's going on, or maybe even in and of myself visit. It's the next. I'm gonna be joyful. I'm gonna be very happy. And I'm gonna be a millionaire. Really, really hectically, like it or not. I'm gonna be wealthy. I'm gonna be happy. And I'm gonna be wise. Healthy, wealthy, and wise. Look at that go. Prosperity preachers be out here getting shingles and shakes. Listen, I'm long suffering. It's part of God's disciples, like, whole thing that they're doing. Okay, yeah. So you're eventually going to embrace me, love me, and wish you had never hurt me now that I am okay, because that's always the nature of people that betray you. They only regret it ever so extremely, ever so severely, ever so monumental. They only ever feel some kind of way, and very monumentally, once you recover, once you get your life back. So try to give it just like Joseph in Egypt. Out here, entirely restored, and only person in a position to be out here feeding some hungry South Africans, when you will finally treat me like I'm a human being. But for as long as I'm still poverty-stricken and going through a lot, I'm gonna be getting hellish men that are gonna put like satanic spawn in my belly, trying to make me pregnant with all of their STDs. I'm actually gonna be getting crazy married men trying to marry me, crazy married men trying to make me a lifetime side chick. I'm still going to be getting women that are going to be like pillaring me after every video I post. I'm still going to be getting just a slew of abuse encircling me because now I did a video that irritated them. I'm still going to be getting women out here going to Sangomas to make me rip apart all of my jewels and take off all of my glory in order to shroud myself behind the clandestine sorrow of a defeated woman. Listen, I am going to be enduring all that South African insanity for the duration of time that I am yet to be delivered from this. You are cumbersome in your affliction of people. You are laborious. You are long-winding. You are a most tiresome snail-like affair that nonetheless must end because la Clola. You are monstrous and beastly. You are psychopathic and determined to out-detonate every lost beautiful thing that it might be blown to pieces. But we are going to win. We're going to conquer because darkness never wins. And a whole chunk of you, by the time we do get breakthrough and deliverance, are already going to be in Hades with great regret. That is what is happening here. That is the rather true story. That is what is actually going down. That is the true comeuppance. That is the true consequences. Those are the true consequences. Anything else, anything different, anything out here prophesied is just evil and it's false. Your little Hananiah disposition, out here giving an alternative prophecy to Jeremiah, listen, whatever, you've got a goat tooth, that's why your smile is so whack. I don't care what you're doing. You're not gonna win. You're not gonna win. Yeah, don't nobody goat tooth. Please go get a veneer. Like, lose that stuff. It's nasty. What are you doing? Anyway, whatever. Now let us revert then to, that's the chick from YouTube, right? I've told you the chick from YouTube and the two Butmatlisas. That's how they're gonna be knocked out. Alright, I told you about the short, little, bold, dark, fat, random chick that also came at my cat with a friend of hers. Like, she came at my, in the dream, oh my god, I feel sad. Like, okay, let me explain to you then the dream. First, let me tell you the one that I got first. Let me give you the one that I got first. It's about a chronology here, okay? There is some chick, I don't know where she's from. I don't know if she works for YouTube. Listen, her credentials, her stats, her thing that she's doing, I don't know. Her stats or whatever she does for a living, angazi, but she definitely belongs to one of these cults because those are the only people watching me. And they tune in to me with popcorn and everything like they're watching a horror movie because this here is their making. Ooh, they be haunting, but I be not caring. Okay, whatever. Chirian, I get a guy, but she's one of the inhabitants of the city under the sea or something. I don't know. She belongs to one of them. She could even be an employee at YouTube. I don't know. Mara ke satananyana, mame. Umkhutwane shwa timbola and I got heaps things amhlaba. Ke stotla. Onale gold, onale gap in between the teeth. Or hana miriri kichiskop or bald. Like she just has no hair. Or is short, very short. Right, or typically just substandard, and the kind of chick that will actually give you grief because even though outwardly she acts kind, she's actually picking a bone with every pretty girl in the room. It was imperative to highlight her appearance because that's exactly that very appearance. So basically nobody can really trust her, okay? I got like a very heartbreaking dream. And my family members and they are full of harassment and abuse. I can tell when a family member is using witchcraft on me or if at all a family member is being used against me in a dream based on what they do. And seeing as me, I've got biases, I largely tend to cover or protect my family members more than I will ever cover or protect a stranger that's coming at me with a flying kick of witchcraft and jiu-jitsu. Of witchcraft, what are you doing? Now you're not family, so listen, I'm not covering you. But anyway, let's get back to the point. So maybe I'm covering this family member or not, but listen, I don't think she was involved in anything, at least not this particular moment. My little sister, she's younger than me. She's a Gen Z. She's 24. That's why I get her the older Gen Zs. Your country is gone. It's dead as a doornail. You are not gonna see the glory of the Gen Zs that are either still in high school or getting out of primary school and the Gen Alphas. You're just whatever. All right. This dream involved my little sister, and it was her birthday party, like some kind of a birthday party. It was my little sister's birthday party. And I was there in Jeffela just as a supporter, like a prop, okay? And I was feeling so small and so ostracized and so unloved in this ecosystem. But I was there nonetheless, hoping that people are going to be sensitive about my feels, okay? Sensitive about all my emotions and everything. Because I'm already very sad and life sucks. And all of her people are encircling me. And in this dream, I'm feeling like, oh, she's got so much youth and splendor and glory. And I don't have it. And on top of that, I'm all old and cockfied, like Skokotwane. I'm all old and cockfied like Skokotwane. And I'm really hurt about all that. And I'm so encircled by all these 24, 25-year-olds, these 22-year-olds here to attend this birthday party, and they're all so glorious, and I'm just such a golden oldie with nothing to write home about. Oh my goodness, my life sucks, so please be sensitive, be out here, like, cuddling my feels. I'm walking around with this kind of shoddy, pitiful disposition in my dream. Already I am kind of sensitive. I'm raw. Do you understand? I am raw. I am skinned. Don't be pricking me or even touching me slightly with anything when I have been skinned. Ugh, I was skinned and feeling uncomfortable amidst youth. Listen, I ain't got no qualms with youth. Anybody trying to make me jealous, young women, that's what you do. I'm trying to look out for abangani abangwana. And people are trying to make me look at them like I'm so nasty, I'm so fallen apart in comparison to them. I'm nobody now. Or because you're so beautiful with your 25-year-old collagen plump skin, and look at me just drooping with a lazy eye with all this sorrow. I don't look at the youth like that because I have an understanding of the fact that eternal life is a thing I'm about to inherit it, and one day I'm going to be restored to my youthful splendor. Plus, I've always been pro kids for a very long time. I've always been trying to get them to come out from the darkness, to snatch them from the flames of hell. I'm bereaved about all of them that keep on getting killed by boyfriends and all that jazz. Yeah, I am essentially the biggest, like, big mama hen. To kids, to Gen Zs. Yeah, millennials be out here trying to make me look bitter in the climate of young women because in their own atmosphere I'm just so incredibly glorious. I have yet to be tarnished by the passage of time, and so for those reasons millennials, they can't compete with me, at least in the realm of glory, of physical glory. So they are just throwing me, trying to compete me with Gen Zs, with children, do you understand? Like kids that are just too young for me to be out here thinking I got anything up on them. It's just unsustainable and unrealistic. Anyway, whatever. I don't have that kind of mindset, but they're trying to put it in me. They want to give me a thirst curse, a thirst trap. Angin funi no guys. Akile batle. whatever. Herein lies the situation that I'm actually walking at, hopping in it like a kangaroo or whatever. And my little sister is in this party, and everybody is just kind of, tiptoeing around me, but largely ignoring me as well. And then out comes this funeral lady. She's like just a whole dirge doing the rounds. She's like a whole reading of the reads. She's like a tombstone. Papa, she's giving crematorium and embalmment. She's giving tombstone and ashes. She's just giving death. After a video that I posted last, where I was rebuking gnarly, monstrous, beastly randos with their hybrid disposition for doing what they're doing. After that video, the reaction then pops up one brand spanking new witch, what she's got. Listen, so I get to hotel, so para a week. I'm rocking one. I kid you not. This is a wig, baby girl. This is a wig. Rock one. It makes a difference. It does. I see you. Anyway, whatever, right? So then Kamuga's like a bat out of hell, and then she is indeed. She's either a millennial or a Gen X, or my age. All right. As some kind of an auntie figure. Whereas I was go-parting in as some kind of like a CC figure. Essentially, there was a vast perceived difference in our age, even though we were closer to age to each other. We were close in age to each other, but the perceived age that I was at this party was that I was more like an older CC, whereas she was perceived as like a mama or an auntie. And she rocks up with this auntie disposition. And then, however, she's my age more or less. She's give or take older than me by a few years, maybe younger. Mara, she looks old. Okay, weight will do that to you though, right? This chick then rocks up like a bat out of hell. She would have been one of those kids in high school that really hurt my feelings, and because I was so skinny I couldn't fight back, but now I got punches. So it's like I got punches. And you're also short now. I've had my growth spurt, and so I can just hit you with a pen on the head. Yeah, y'all can tell I'm recalling something. I'm remembering something. All that trauma. Some chick that I outgrew. By the time I got to matric, I was so tall. When I was in grade 8, still kind of new in high school, and she bullied me. And then I just like outgrew her. She looked so crazy. By the time she got to matric, I was so huge. Maganantella in grade 8. This chick reminds me of that kind of chick. Like I be out here looking at you and saying, come at me now, girl. What you gotta say now? Cause I've grown now. I'm big now. Anyway, but I didn't hit her with any of that. I just walked around like a model in her presence. When I was still skinny and scrawny and somewhat shorter in grade 8. Anyway, whatever. So I come like a bat out of hell. Shotim bottle in that I could just hit with a pen on the head or the cheese scarf, and it's gonna land like cause get cheese scarf back there. So it's not gonna land like the way that a pen would land on the head when you hit a person. Like Buffett, like poof. If you were to hit me with a pen, it would land like poof, and maybe even bounce. That chick really, she's called for like a Nadolo Ambandane. It's go, yeah, now I could just grab a pen. Come on, it would just go, it would land like it's landing on the kitchen counter. I'm a plan to motivate because I caused a groove. Anyway, I'm not gonna hit her with a pen, but she makes me want to do it. LOL. So here in my cherry cachisco. Utella too much for usos nang ni really ways again boy always go hurt. Oh no, powerful. Excuse. Basically, I guess I don't have energy for this. Anyway, so this chick walks up like a bat out of hell, right? Imagery, get out of my head, like I need to be focused right about now. And then she's like, and then she starts being like, OC, kopa o tope mo le mo fatshe ne o tlo phutha di copy tsena o lokise mona. Basically she was just like pick that she treated me like the hired help, acting in my dream like she didn't know that I was my sister's sibling, and acting in my dream like I looked obviously like I was the hired help because I couldn't possibly belong to this family. So therefore, if at all there's like this weird woman walking around, she basically spoke to me like that. That's why she needs to be hit with a pen. Like, yes, like if she needs that kind of handling, you know what I'm saying? Like handling. Anyway, whatever. So here lies this like crazy lady out here talking to me like I'm the hired help. And so because she spoke to me like that in front of my sister's friends and everybody that was because she spoke to me like that in front of everybody that was at this party and whatnot, I then felt really, really, really sad, you know? I felt so broken in my dream, and I was expecting my little sister to stand up for me on some, hey, don't talk to my sister like that, she's my sister. She's not the hired help. You go pick up that dirt if you want. If it so disturbs your peace, then pick it up. You know, I was expecting to be defended by everybody here as family. I say hired help. I say domestic family member. Yeah, but my sibling looked at me, be spoken to by this chick like this, and she was like, yo, and she just walked away on some essentially she did not take my course. And then I came into the shack where I live, right, and I sat down on the there's a study desk over there. I sat down on the chair in front of the study desk, and my little sister came inside the shack with me, and then sat on my bed, on my bed, all right? She laid on my bed and went into her phone the way that she always is on her phone in her bedroom, and she was just like on her phone chatting with friends, laughing, like right in the center of this birthday party. She came in, and I sat there all forlorn, and I started to like sob. I started to cry, and in my dream I felt fat and out of place, and like I was just a sore thumb that was sticking up, and I started to sob and cry. And when I was crying like that, my sister just like carried on as normal, like there was nothing. I killed right there in front of her. And well, I woke up because the dream didn't end. I just woke up, and when I woke up I was still you know those dreams that transfer into waking space? When I woke up I was still sobbing like I was sobbing in my dream, and the pain I felt, it literally just kind of vomited itself into waking space, and I walked around with that heaviness. This dream I had 2-3 days ago, that's when the attack landed on me. I told you for 3 days I've been feeling like trash. Hashem, I was inconsolable. Nothing could make me feel better. I was watching my content, my shorts, they were like dust in my mouth. Like, listen, I couldn't even comfort myself with my own work because I was like, God, do people view me as just like the domestic care mochara thing? Do they see me as the hired help? And I know my family members can be nice and apathetic and ignore. They are indeed apathetic, and they walk around me like, listen, this ain't jack. I spoke about that earlier, how it is that it really hurts that people are ignoring that I'm in a lot of pain. But I was like, but would they like absolutely refuse to even defend my cause when people are treating me like a domestic worker in front of them? Like, my mom has a domestic servant, she has a domestic worker, and there was a time when she used to make me do all the work, but now she doesn't anymore because I guess a conscience attacked her. So she basically stopped doing that and hired help, realizing that you can't just like and it happened. My little sister, there was a time when I would be the one washing dishes morning, noon and night, listen, all the day long. Guess I complain because listen, what's the point? Mara time causes people to repent. Remember I told you guys that with the story that I was telling with Joy Reid pertaining her nasty speeches against Erica Kirk and her and a caucus of crazy females? At some point when you speak smack against a person, a couple of years down the line you might change your mind about it and realize that, listen, I'm just a monster. I'm a monster. I spoke about child soldiers, how it is that some of them, listen, it is documented, it is evidenced that some of them, when they get older, when they're like 27, 30, they just all of a sudden are just overcome by this blood guilt. When they were busy killing at the time, they were taken over by something. Yeah. Well, I have seen my own family members, just like Judah in the Bible. You know how Judah was so overcome by the guilt of selling Joseph over more even than all of his brothers? I guess it makes sense that Christ would come from that lineage, right? Yeah, people come around. They do come around and they realize what they did. And I have witnessed my family make like Judah, do a 180. I've witnessed my family members start out treating me so much like trash in the beginning of my sorrow, letting me be their little servant, kicking me around from pillar to post, sending me from house to house, having no regard for what's going on with me. But over the years, as I've been just suffocating, suffering, holding fast, and in long suffering, waiting on the Lord, and just like, guys, it's my survival. On a loop. Do you understand? Yeah, so my family members, seeing as they've been privy to me with access to my strivings, they've come around. Listen, they have come around. My lazy baby sister has started washing dishes, making sure that I have one batch to wash and she's got one batch to wash. And then whatever else is another batch that comes, I likely will be the one to handle it, but my mom tends to be the one to handle it. They make sure that when I wake up, I get a pile of dishes in the sink. And I feel patronized by Dijana that they've been eating with all the morning until I wake up. Yeah, I get like met halfway, and on top of that, there is a domestic worker that comes in every Saturday, right? And and that domestic worker, she was tempted. There was a day when I put a dish of mine, mohara zinki, in front of this domestic worker, and she made a decision to go home. Basically hinting to me, okay, listen, I don't work for you, I work for your mom. And then the next week, and she never did it again. She stopped doing that. She stopped harassing me because she observed that Kitrit was wrong, because in and of herself she was attacked by conscience. Long story short, even if people might notice that I'm differently treated, even though people might notice that I am differently treated from everybody else, or I've got a different life in comparison to everybody else, even those that do treat me some kind of weird way, ultimately change their mind. They stop, because guilt hurts, guilt harasses, guilt is horrible, and people do a different thing later on, right? And right now I just got a word of understanding. Some little idiot watching my content saying this chick is smashless. Listen, you're so carnal that you be out here coming up with all different kinds of words for sex, and I wouldn't even know that smashing means having sex unless I watched enough content listening to Gen Zs speaking random nonsense on TikTok, giving their story times about what they endured under crazy, like, philandering with mazisas, that I would catch wind of the word smash and understand that it means having sex. Otherwise, I would have just been thinking about potatoes in a blender. You're nasty, you're carnal, and you're Gen Zs. And if you think that I am smashless, or shagless, or sexless, you're rubbish, go die. You deserve to die with all, listen, of your dads and moms, and your giant, like, cocos, that have rent this country with all of their witchcraft. You're showing away that thinks that I am an unsmashable granny, because I am your mama. I'm old enough to be your freaking mom, because there's some Gen Z that be out here thinking stuff like that. I don't know who in the world watches me. It's all these occult recruits. My point exactly, I told you. The Gen Zs are bangani. The older ones, sorry. There's nothing we can do for the older Gen Zs. Listen, there is nothing. But none of the millennials, the older generation, you are too far gone. You will look at on 41 and call me smashless, because at some point you be thinking I could smash that, I could hit that. Or who do you think I am? Isn't babes what do more? Willing to out be smashing 23-year-olds. Do you think I'm that thing? Ministry. Stop looking at me like I'm something to have sex with. Anyway, whatever. Let's move on from this little idiot speaking about how it is that I can't be smashed, okay? When I woke up from that dream, the sorrow that was encircling me was around Tabayahori. Are you telling me that the world looks at me like I'm bad? Just to say that underneath my sister's feet. Am I just rubbishy? And am I indeed to my family something that they can ignore others not caring that I've been hurt by them? Ignore others treating me like I'm a second-grade citizen in their midst. Like if all people were to rock up here and start sending me around like, hey, Snoopy, calling me like a dog, would my mom really truly just kind of do nothing? Or would my sister be like, yo, I could again? Listen, I don't know. I have not experienced anything of that nature, at least not so far, not this year. Because yes, I've endured a lot of trash other years. They have come around, is what I'm getting at. I have observed them change, because after watching me suffer for many years, they decided that I don't want to do this anymore. Because God ultimately catches up with people, their consciences, or the devil every so often, as like fallen angels. Not fallen angels, but demons ultimately leave people just to make them so guilty that they will kill themselves. So I have had some pretty gnarly commentary coming my way, with my family members treating me like trash before. But there's been a significant improvement in their behavior. And since God does not delight in the death of him who dieth, and since the law says that you must forgive people 70 times 7 times when they ask for forgiveness, seeing as the law says that if a person repents, embrace them, receive them, don't just like shun them, don't harden your heart towards them. I don't harden my heart when I witness a turnaround, some kind of, transformation on the part of my family members. I don't. Never mind my family members, but other people who start to treat me slightly better. I realize that no one is perfect. Even I am a sinner saved by grace. And every so often, some of the most heinous criminals and psychopaths get a change of mind later on. And in so getting a change of mind and stop speaking about a grown woman as one that could be smashed, in so changing their minds, therefore can be had a conversation with, can be sat down near. But listen, all the work that I did in, never mind long suffering in front of these people, and so therefore watching them change, but all the work that I did to stand in the gap, to intercede, to pray, not only for myself but for them, and that dream was throwing all of it in the dustbin. Just like that guy didn't want me to have any kind of compassion from my family, any kind of support or service from my family, because I had to never mind not be able to work again, but not buy again. The dad dude, he did that. Now herein lies a crazy little cheese scope female at YouTube. On that line, just like the Gen Z boy that just said I'm unsmashable. Yeah. They're literally trying to reverse all the beautiful work that God has done in the hearts of my family members. Even though they have yet to repent and give their lives to Christ, they're certainly not treating me as badly as they used to. They're not treating me as badly as they used to. My sister, who used to be very excruciatingly generous towards me when we were growing up as kids, my older sister, has recently been giving me more money than my mom ever could. Basically, her generous neck, the thing that made her part ways with tons of dough, where I'm concerned, she's essentially kind of recovering to that. It's what I'm getting at. It's like whatever it is that dwelt inside my family in the beginning, what I knew them as, and the thing that took them over, the Amalekites, the Jebusites, you nasty Gibeonites, you. Yeah. And you think that God is going to ignore years of prayer on my knees and in my bed, and as I walk around in tongues, and all the fasting that I have done, and all the intercession that I have walked in, that He is going to reverse all. He's going to reverse all that because, oh my goodness, you know a spell now. Oh my goodness, you can just like continue to do spells. You will continue to overestimate the glory and the splendor of all of your magic. Y'all think that you can undo years of intercessory labor that saints invested in getting their family members recovered to God, or even their countries, or even their villages, or even the companies where they work, or even you get my point. You think that after fasting and praying and grunting and grumbling, that like the prophets of Baal, we're going to have to keep on cutting and grumbling and basically harassing ourselves even more because, oh my goodness, a witch done did a new spell. A witch done achieved a brand spanking new nasty satanic nefarious thing. So I guess all the way goodbye again. Au revoir, like the bird that you are, you squawking nasty. Let that bird fly, otherwise known as I've stood in the gap for 10 years and then the person reverted to witchcraft. Nasty. Because of the fact that some occult boss and tycoon made a decision that my family are going to turn their backs on me again. My man, I've got minimum support and minimum care for my family right now. Just like black people love to do that minimum business. But and if I fight Bob, they're very parsimonious that way. Can't part ways with too much now. I want to be spending too much now. They're still like that. They're still stingy. They still won't help me. If anything, they can't help me anymore. Only God can help me now. There's no going back to corporate. Listen, it's not going to happen. Only God can give me the life that I need now. That is going to make me truly happy. So my family members have basically their avenue or their opportunity to do anything about my case and fix it. They can't do it. So they need to basically, they need to hope. Seeing as they are so uncomfortable and so guilty, they need to hope in this God of mine being the real deal. Otherwise, I'm going to die. My family members have lost the allure of time on the opportunity that is open to help me. None of them can recover me anymore. None of them can help me with a job anymore. There's nothing that they can give me anymore that is going to fix my life. So they have got to cross their like cancerous little chicken fingers that my God comes through for me. They can only hope that Jesus has my back. My mother has noticed that I'm walking around like a log, and she's tiptoeing around me because Otaba, the very thing that you're trying to do to me, suicide. You can tell that Otsuki, well, she doesn't, that's the thing, she has to cross her finger and hope that my God is really true, because her window of opportunity to help my cause along has come and gone. You have put me in a position to not be helpable anymore by the people who recover to conscience where I'm concerned, and so therefore have put me in a position to be rescued by no one but God without any human intervention, coming from those who were supposed to love me, like friends and family members. All those that are feeling really guilty now can only ever hope that my God is real. All that have put me in a position to pass away can only ever hope that my God is real. Like my uncle saw my life and imagined that, this is too much. I was going to end up committing suicide. So what did he do? He did a spell to get me married off. And what did that spell achieve? Bring more of you little mongrels all up in my grove. At least to some kind of a semblance of a normal life. My family members are crossing their fingers and they're very trepidatious. They're anxious. They won't say it in so many words, but they're scared. There was a time when they were not apprehensive, but they were nonchalant, blasé. They were apathetic. They just trusted that I was going to be okay. But it's been too long now, and it's now eating away at them. Essentially, they need my God to come through for me. What are my family members like? They set me up for failure. They're like King Darius, after coming up with a crazy decree to go and worship some weird statue, realizing you can't retract that decree. then says to Daniel, may your God be with you. My family members are literally like King Darius over Daniel in the lion's den now. They are hoping that this God that I have chosen to believe in, it'll save me from what my mother is aware, especially my mom. She can tell that I am afflicted by entities. She can tell that get abused. What's about harassment? But my mother doesn't truly believe in the God of the Bible, because if she did, she wouldn't have done this to her own child. She's polytheistic just like all of you South Africans. However, she's changed her mind about my destruction. And so just like King Darius, even though she does not believe in my God, neither subscribe to him per se, the thing is I latched onto him for dear life, and that's why I refuse to bow down to the statue of Darius. That's why I refuse to worship a golden statue in a town square. She's hoping that which I refuse to capitulate to, because she knows that there are people pressurizing me to accept their nonsense. She's hoping, just like King Darius, that seeing as you were brave enough to pray with your window open 3 times a day in front of a bunch of pagans that have set you up for failure to die, may your God be with you. Let those lions not devour you in the den. Darius therefore spending the rest of his night all distressed. My mother is like Herod after Herodotus does a dance in front of him, and then he is like, what can I offer you today for doing this wonderful dance? And then the chick is like, give me John the Baptist's head. And it distresses Herodotus, Herod. It distresses Herod, but I mean the guy gave the chick the head anyway. My mom is out here giving me to all of you anyway, because you danced for her and she can't fix my life. If therefore my God does not come through for me in delivering me, my mother will inevitably mourn a daughter that she set up for failure, who was so stubborn for her God that she ended up dying. But it's not ideal. She doesn't want me dying, but there's nothing she can do to help me. Listen, nothing. Her hands are tied, just like the hands of Herod were tied in the murder of John the Baptist, and just like the hands are tied in the attempted murder of Daniel in the lion's den. She knows that my life is in danger and hopes I'm gonna live to tell the story. It's clear, and my mother hopes that this God that has kept me alive all these years will keep me alive the rest of these years. She does not trust him, but she hopes that my trust in him will actually salvage, because I am stubborn for a God that people are like, or you will never live. You will keep killing Christians and setting people to endure bereavement because you make them betray their own family members. You stand in the way of family. You break people apart. You shatter lives and then cause families to face just sudden suicide because they were made to betray their own loved one. You freaking dirty Midianites and Amalekites that are going to be wiped off from the face of the earth. The beautiful thing here, however, is that my God actually does live, even though my mother doesn't believe in that God. My mother is like the dad of Gideon. And I guess to try and protect as much as you possibly can your son from not being killed, but let's hope that Baal does not kill your son. Let's hope that these false gods, these idols that she is out here crashing and burning with her, like ramming into with her monster truck. Yeah, I got a monster truck too, you cancerous chick at YouTube. I also got a monster truck, and it's called the gospel. It's called Jesus. Seeing as I am out here slicing and dicing with my own chainsaw your wooden statues, my mother is telling everybody, no, don't kill her. Let the God that she slew to the ground kill her. She's essentially standing back and saying, I really hope that this wooden statue does not bring my son to the grave, just like Gideon's dad. And let's hope that the God that you trust in protects you from the Baal statue you just eliminated. Y'all are a whole bunch of like standing Baal statues. And I'm slicing and dicing away at you, slicing in the center of your torso. Look at you be 2 parts. Your snacks. And you know how Jeremiah sliced and diced that statue at night? And whenever people walk around outside of my life, I'm very trepidatious because I don't want my voice to be loud, because I come from a season historically where my family would persecute me for this work I do. So I'm grateful to have my own space where I record, but largely I don't like to be heard by my family. So when my mom walks up and down outside, or my little sister, I lower my volume because I don't want them to hear what I'm saying. So I'm also out just slicing and dicing the statue of Baal at night while people sleep. And when my mom wakes up, she's like, I really hope that this God of yours protects you from Baal worship, as all I can do, not Baal worship, but from killing the statue of Baal, destroying it. Like, listen, you can't even kill a statue of Baal. You just dismember it. You just break it. You just like twang, seeing as it's made of porcelain, or you saw into it like you're a lumberjack with like a whole chainsaw, because it's made of wood. It's nothing. It's just there with eyes, but it doesn't see. There with ears, but it doesn't hear. There with a mouth, but it can't talk. It's mum, and I diss it all day long, and it can't say anything back. It doesn't have comebacks in a roast battle. That's your Baal statues. And my mother is like, listen, you be out here roasting the Baal statue that can't roast you back. You better hope that your God is God. And I can only ever hope that your God is God, because my hands are tied. Like King Darius's hands were tied, and Herod's hands were tied, and Pilate's hands were tied when he handed Christ over to be crucified. You don't want a person dying, but listen, they're holding on to their guns, and it looks like they might die. That's my family. It's really unfortunate. But out of these scenarios, Jesus with Pilate, Herod with Herodotus, and Daniel with the lion's den, I'm Daniel. My head does not get taken like John the Baptist, and I don't go to the cross anyway like Jesus. I'm gonna make it because God keeps showing me a future. Darius, my pagan friend king, will be grateful that my God is really God. When I come out of this, long story short, my family members will breathe a sigh of relief that this does not result in suicide, even though they would have put me in a position to die, but somewhere along the way, like child soldiers, they got an attack of conscience for all the blood they spilled. So all they can hope is not to attend. All they can desire richly is never to have to attend a funeral. But now, essentially, me surviving these death rituals is on me. They put me in a position to get killed by gnarly, monstrous beasts, and now I gotta save myself from all of them. Look at you, put me in the Hunger Games, but look at you die anyway. From the Hunger Games arena, you put me in. How namby-pamby can you get on that day? How namby-pamby? But what I'm out here trying to get at is that you do that to families. Oh, Gibeonites, wreaking a whole chunk of havoc, acting like you all innocent or whatever. To Joshua, rocking up with your moldy bread. I see you. Oh, Gibeonites. Listen, I see you. And I'm not gonna take your little moldy bread offer. Y'all gotta get. I got found one now. I inquire of the Lord. This guy, oh my God, getting stealthily like the Gibeonites in the story of Joshua. Because you see that, this person is winning. Hey, winning. And then you be rocking up with your moldy bread, acting like you're a sojourner from far. I see your moldy bread for what it is. Listen, it's been there all this time, right nearby. I was supposed to take the land. I'm not gonna listen. I'm not taking prisoners. This here is a trial by ordeal. I will not negotiate. There was a time when I was willing to negotiate, and for years you rejected me, denied me that negotiation. Now you want me to concede, and the concession looks something like redaction, ignoring that certain people did certain things, leaving out certain portions of my ministry, or of the prophecies. You are literally trying to make me say that some things never happened. When judgment is wholesale now, just being poured out in the land, because you were rebellious to take amnesty at certain spots, and there comes a time when you're so far gone that now you gotta go to Babylon, oh Judah. But all along you were warned by Jeremiah. All along you are there now at the end where you can no longer negotiate. All you can do is embrace your status as slaves. But we be out here getting crazy people trying to make like the Gibeonites with your moldy bread and whatever, and your torn like wine skins and your bad outfits. I don't care about your bad outfits. I see that you made them bad in your own country just next door. Nyanazi, Nyanbona, you are not a Gibeonite. If anything, when they were smart, they were wise. Nina, you're my monstrous enemies. You are the kings of the east or the north or whatever. The ones that came at the Hebrews with military tactics instead of humility. You are more so like them. But because you are noticing that the Lord has granted victory to us and that you are losing, now you be out acting like a Gibeonite or whatever. Whatever, I see your moldy bread and I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I don't trust you. You're not coming in. Anyway, whatever. So in this dream with this weird cheese scope chick, I got out of that dream feeling like all the work that I did means nothing. Now that brings me back to, again, let's talk about this just in the grander scheme of things, the application of this whole thing. Right? Abuenka, that whole entire application. What is the application? The application is you want believers, you want think that we are on an equal playing ground with the devil, and that no tracks that we covered, no ground that we covered is of any essence. You want believers to imagine that years of prayer did nothing, and you want believers to also imagine that their peace can be easily disturbed by somebody doing a spell. And when then you create that kind of evil doctrine, passing it down to Christians, and then they run with it, they will live in a constant state of fear. They will not be brave. They will hide in caves like the Israelites in the days of Gideon, away from the Midianites. They will not abandon, people will not abandon in that state, in that place, their idol worship in favor of the God that insofar as y'all are maintained in a contrite and a broken state, and y'all do away and don't turn aside to other gods, you're going to be safe in the sight of God. You are trying to make it look as if though God is volatile, the very same way that the devil is volatile. You're trying to make it look as if though the Lord will give you answered prayer today, but listen, somebody can break it apart tomorrow. You want to believe, people in the occult, that fine, if Karabo gets married, I'm gonna stand in between her and her job. And oh yeah, the guy, the dad dude, also did a spell where he said that if she does, however, because I get it, he's aware that I tend to break through out of spells anyway, if she does, however, get a job, she will always be harassed in that space. I hate the brick walls. Listen, you haunt people. So these people are trying to make it look as if though, including this chick, Ole, what she's called one panjana, just like her big daddy, right? She wants me to believe that I could get breakthrough and finally perhaps marry, and then my husband is gonna go awry. My husband is going to be yet another monster with GBV. Otlong klapa, munaka. Otlong trapa, otlong tumpa, otlong ganda. Otlong khataga ganda ganda. Munaka. Hakadamo. He's going to spit on me for being old as a bride. And then he's going to hate all the stretch marks on my stomach when I'm pregnant. And then he is going to rip the wigs off my hair and say, you're not even all that glorious without a wig. And then he's going and like basically make it a whole announcement on a podium, on a soapbox when I crack my first fine line and my first wrinkles. And then he's like, Aji on sambona even because those are the kinds of men that I fear. My dad was like that to my mom. That I'm gonna marry a man and meet a ghost in a marriage. The very thriller I've been running away from. They're trying to make it look as if though no amount of long-suffering forbearance, patient endurance of evil produces indeed that which God said he will give you when you wait. Neither eye has seen nor